Good afternoon, everybody. This is Coaster Jammin' Photos. I'm coming to you from the National Museum of the Marine Corps. Take you guys on a quick tour and show you around. The main entrance to the museum here. Got a bunch of stuff hanging up in the ceiling. There's a Bearcat, a dive bomber. There's a Harrier over here, and they just hung up the Cobra like 3 weeks ago. Some nice stuff back here. Take you guys a quick map. I think that's really neat in here too is this is the glass enclosure that goes all the way up, and they have the stairway. It looks like a bridge of a ship, which is really neat too. So this is the entrance, and the last thing that the bus is getting on the bus to go to boot camp.
Core values of honor, courage, and commitment.
Come down here to launch a group of individuals. You come on platoon, you work as a team, and then come graduation, they're a well-oiled machine, depending on each other.
All boot camp graduates soon realize that the dedication and leadership of our Marine Corps drill instructors has changed them for the better, forever.
Their bodies fit, their minds alert, their values firmly established. The young Americans that stood on the yellow footprints just weeks before can now proudly claim the title of United States Marines.
So they have all the basic training stuff back here, like how they're trained, close order drill, on chemical hand-to-hand combat, water survival, something they need to like do to get through to get to graduation.
American youth looking for direction.
The thing they have in here is a simulator rifle range too.
Looking for self-discipline and sense of duty, full of untapped potential.
I decided I wanted to be a Marine to better myself. I really wasn't going anywhere in life, and I wanted to change that.
I felt that me becoming a Marine was definitely
70. Wow.
Yeah.
Here, a little. Yeah, I saw you were shooting left.
Okay.
Yeah, that looks like it's off to the right. I can't see where the holdover is. Safe. Shooting low. Yeah. Char, who won this time?
You did.
Thank you. This is the start of the early history of the Marine Corps, coming from the Navy. So they got like from the sea exhibits, a bunch of the old weapons, cannons, stuff like that. They're recruiting like back in the Global Expeditionary Force, all that stuff. You go look at the cannons.
Reconstructing, resettling, reimagining. Unleashing a gilded age of entrepreneurial spirit and national ambition. The flood of innovation and opportunity could not be held back by our coastlines or the 4 points of the compass. Canvas sails at the whim of the winds gave way to coal-fired steel ships, carrying America's bounty and the marine, where they wanted, when they wanted. With the 7 Sea,
They just share like the early history of the Marines here, like life aboard the ship. And some of the weapons and stuff over here. The dioramas in here are really, really nice too. This brings the Marine Corps into the Civil War, coming through this area here. And one of my One of the places I grew up going to when I was younger is Harper's Ferry. I've been there quite a few times, and this has a whole section on John Brown and how the Marines were called to take care of John Brown. Leave that up for a little bit, show you guys around a little bit. This is one of my favorite things that I saw the last time I was here was the amount of pay that they were getting. The 1866 pay grade. $16 a month, $192 a year for a private, and pay for 4 years was $768. Crazy.
Had their work cut out for them. The old Marine, Commodore Landis, spoke in nautical terms, fought with the far-flung jungles and ancient crossroads of the world as America clutched her spear of influence. America entered the 20th century as an emerging colonial power, making it one of the
They have a section here devoted to the marching music of the Marine Corps here.
John Williams.
So we're going to get into the World War I section, starting off with this beautiful statue from Bellawood.
In their first major battle, American soldiers and Marines halted the German advance on Paris. The Germans regrouped near Belleau Wood, an overgrown square mile of tangled ravines and boulders. The French general orders a counterattack on June 6th. The Marines' mission: seize Belleau Wood. On the left flank, Major Benjamin Barry's 3rd Battalion, 5th Marines, approaches the line of departure. His regimental commander, Colonel Albertus Kaplan, would later recall that the wood was strongly held to him. Barry had 400 yards of open field to cross in the face of a galling fire. I did not believe he could ever reach the woods. Major Barry forms his battalion into 2 attack companies of 4 rails, each man 5 paces apart. 2 other companies follow 200 yards behind. The Allies had designed this formation to closely follow a rolling artillery barrage that would screen the advance. But the brigade commander, seeking to surprise the enemy, orders only one thing.
I witnessed some of that fighting. I was with the Marines at the opening of the battle. In the trees opposite the side on which we stood were German machine guns. We were here, man. We could not see them, but we knew that every leaf and piece of
All the World War I weapons. I'll listen, just kind of show you guys what's in here. Make a beautiful display here on the trench warfare. There's the periscope and then the trench shotgun. Yeah, I was wondering if they had one of these. This is a show automatic gun that they brought in from the French, and it's got quite a reputation as being one of the worst weapons ever designed. So. Oh, I have the periscopes here, so I can. Can't really stick you through there to see. You can see a little bit.
The stamina of their infantrymen. Once the bombardment began, teamwork and fighting spirit decided the outcome.
There's all trench warfare here, so they show you the top of the trench with the periscopes and all. Marine aviation stuff as well. Let's see what this is off of.
Budget, and the Marines traditionally have relied on innovation and experimentation.
So unfortunately, the front of the World War II gallery is actually closed. I'll kind of give you guys a quick peek in there. They're doing some extensive remodeling in there at this time, so fortunately we don't get to get in there, but we will get to see the flag from Iwo Jima though. So the front of the World War II gallery is actually closed down, but you can actually go in the reverse order. So we'll kind of do this backwards, I guess. Here is all the casualties of war for World War II for the Marine Corps. These are actually all Japanese officers' swords here. And of course you got an Avenger up the top here. So one of the big displays here that the museum is known for is they have the flag from Iwo Jima. This is actually the second flag.
This is the most famous artifact the Marine Corps has. This flag is the flag in this photograph. This is the flag that was raised on Mount Suribachi on Iwo Jima, February 23rd, 1945. How you doing, folks? Excuse me, man. This is our most famous artifact right here. This flag is right here on this photograph. February 23rd, 1945. It's called D-Day +4. The Marines had landed on a Monday, February 19th, on Iwo Jima. The 28th Marines were responsible for Mount Suribachi, which is an extinct volcano about 650, 700 feet high at the southern tip of Iwo Jima. They're getting hit hard. It's the 5th day into the battle. They do not know it, but they've got another 31 days to go before Iwo Jima is secure. 28th Marines send up a 40-man patrol to the summit of Mount Suribachi with orders to secure the summit and, if possible, take a small flag with them and get a flag up. These are the Marines on the patrol. They call it the Schreier Patrol, 40-man patrol. They send up the mountain. They fight their way to the summit, put a perimeter out, and before these Marines went up, they said these guys on this patrol thought when they got orders to the summit, they didn't think they're coming back down because of all the heat they were taking from up there. Fight their way to the summit, put a perimeter out, and get this small flag up. This flag is normally not on display. It's only on display because it's the anniversary month of the flag raising in Iwo. This flag goes up, all the Marines on the island, all the ships offshore who can see it are cheering and yelling and sounding their horn because this flag is the first flag raised on Japanese soil during World War II. With that, they ordered this second flag up, the second more famous of the two flags. This flag flies for about 3 hours. This flag flies for 21 days. When they send this second larger one up, when it's going up, Joe Rosenthal, he's an Associated Press combat photographer up there with the 28th Marines. He sees this going up, he turns quickly, sees the famous photograph, sees it in the lens of his camera and clicks it just like that. He gets this picture, this famous picture. The Marines on the patrol, when they're putting this second one up, they are coordinating taking this first one down because the Marines on the patrol didn't want anyone to think that they'd been overrun had they taken the first flag down too soon. When Joe Rosenthal takes that photo, it's sent back to Associated Press headquarters on Guam that afternoon. The guys on Guam recognized this as a famous, potentially famous and iconic photograph. When they develop it, he hadn't seen any of the film. They sent it back undeveloped. They get a hold of him back on Iwo and ask him, "Did you take posed photographs?" He responds, "Yes, he did," but he hadn't seen any of the film. He's thinking about this. Marine Corps calls this the URA photograph, where Marines have their covers off and you can see their faces. But here, he said, "No, I was lucky. I was in the right place at the right time." And he's later awarded the Pulitzer Prize for this famous photograph. By Sunday morning, this is on the front page of virtually every newspaper in the country and becomes world famous. And becomes, of course, the basis for the Marine Corps War Memorial, as well as the basis for the museum, which is, the flag going up on the spire you see is supposed to be the flag going up on Iwo Jima. Of the 6 Marines in this photograph, 3 are killed in action later in the month on Iwo Jima. Corporal Harlan Block in the front, PFC Franklin Sousley right behind him, and on the other side in the back, Sergeant Michael Strank. PFC Ira Hayes survives Iwo, as does PFC Schultz. And Corporal Keller, and I believe people from Iowa, who was from Brooklyn, Iowa. He makes a few of them. This is considered the deadliest battle in the history of the Marine Corps. On this wall over here, there's an eagle, globe, and anchor representing every Marine killed in action in those 36 days. 5,931 Marines. Scattered throughout the wall, you'll see Navy personnel. Those are mainly corpsmen, 209 Navy corpsmen, because in the Marine Corps we don't have any in-service medical support. It's all provided to us by the Navy, called the corpsmen. And you can see one United States Coast Guardman. He was killed in the second morning by mortar fire on the beach. You're welcome to take as many photos of the flag as you'd like. The Marine Corps asks that you not use flashes on the flag. But over here, if you take a photo of the wall, there's an image on the wall designed to pop out at you on your phone. And it's the image of Mount Suribachi and the landing craft and ships all destroyed.
So one of my favorite displays here is actual two pieces from 9/11. There's one directly off the Pentagon here. And then of course you have the World Trade Center piece over here too. Let's do a quick world walkthrough of this one too for you.
Host nation partners.
This here is the Iraq-Afghanistan campaign section of the
We've been
museum.
able to develop tactics to counter improvised explosive devices. We've been extremely fortunate to work with the female engagement team, the Lionesses. By acknowledging cultural sensitivities, it allows us to gain trust.
When I was in Iraq, I was right in this area right here.
We will deploy alongside Marine reservists as they support.
And then Afghanistan, I was in this area right in here. Here's Kandahar here. We were at Tillman and Zarok, which are right around here.
We are ready. You've all proven that here.
Beautiful F-18 on the ceiling here. There's the RQ-14 right here. I actually flew the RQ-11, which is the Raven. Oh yeah, I am a trained UAV pilot. We're just going to do a quick through here because we only have about 20 minutes left until the museum is closed. So we're going to just kind of make our way very quickly through the Afghanistan and Iraq section here. So I was looking on here to see if my fobs were on here, and Rhino. This is 2011, so I'm trying to figure out where they are because we were over. This is Kandahar over here, so we were kind of in this area here. they call them the NRAT in the Marine Corps. We had MRAPs, which were a little different, but you can see here they have a really nice display on what happens when one of these runs over an IED on the ground. You can see the V-shaped hull directs the blast away. You can see it's still pretty heavily damaged underneath, but not that bad. I'm gonna go through all the equipment here. A good shot of the F-18. Amazing display in here, and believe it or not, Charlie, my buddy, his brother actually worked on this exact helicopter that was in here.
Yeah, you know, I just talked to a kid who was aviation, his or aviation orders, just transferred out from, you know, October we had hanging out. Yeah, he packed everything up and sent it out. We saw in the paper that they put it up, we ran into it twice. That is displayed.
As area stability increased, Marines would slowly reduce their presence, refocus their efforts to other areas.
The command and control elements set up the flight path, and Marines set up the helicopter landing sites. Once in a loading station, the aircraft was grounded and dearmed. Then the refueling operation began, but they did not usually turn off their engines. As the aircraft was fueled, pilots let the troubleshooters know if they had any problems, and requested the type of ordnance they wanted on their aircraft. Once the fueling operation ceased, Marines worked to load the aircraft with missiles, rockets, and bullets. Some FARP sites stayed in one location for hours, sometimes days. Once the location was no longer useful as a FARP site, the team packed up their convoy and moved to the next location. Once reloaded, the aircraft was armed and departed.
will reduce their strategy modeled after experiences in Latin America, the Caribbean, and the Vietnam War. Those insurgents hold the areas and work with locals to rebuild and restore their cities. The very clear that Marines employ for military operations.
Whoa, Dom, check this out. Good, so you can see it slowly from this side.
That's what I flew. No, that's the RQ-14. The RQ-11's up there. Yep. So the Raven is way up there on the scene. This actually has a really good story behind it. I'm gonna move everybody so I can get it all in frame there. You're fine. That's the one that they captured and then like recaptured it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Insurgents to hide within the civilian population and the increased number of U.S. forces as part of the 2007 to 2008 surge forced those who were not captured or killed to flee to neighboring countries or go into hiding. Insurgent attacks decreased. U.S. advisors, including Marines and sailors, trained the Iraqi security forces and assisted them as they took over security operations in Al-Anbar province. U.S. forces officially transferred security to the Iraqi government on 1 September 2008.
To give you one quick last look, this is the Full Metal Jacket wall before we head out.
Thank you.